Tally-ho, Joolz Guides here, in which I wander around London and tell you fascinating facts. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell, because that will notify you when I upload a new video. And today we're in Finsbury Park. Well, actually, this video isn't about Finsbury Park. We just happen to be starting here. We're heading down towards Holloway and Arsenal and Highbury, but I figured it's a good place to start because, you know, a lot of people who are going to see Arsenal play football, they probably arrive here at Finsbury Park Station. So anyway, let's go.
Is it raining on Holloway Road?
Forgive me, I shot a lot of the B-roll for this on a day when the sun was actually out. So all the shots are nice and sunny, and then when we came back to film today, it's raining. So whenever I point at a building, you'll probably notice it's completely different from the weather today. Anyway, don't confuse Finsbury Park with Finsbury. That Finsbury is the northern part of the City of London, like the old City of London, and that's the kind of ward or borough, what kind of area of Finsbury. And the people who lived there around 1849, they were clamouring for more sort of open space because it was getting a bit crowded and they wanted more space for recreational activities and stuff. So eventually in 1869, they finally built this one. It was originally some sort of wood. And right underneath here, actually, is this whole massive, like, reservoir. You might have seen it in Skyfall, the James Bond film, or things like Sherlock and Paddington. It's huge, all the way under here. We never get to see it unless you're mates with someone at Thames Water and he can let you in. But you can kind of tell where it is because there's a sort of raised area there on the grass. Although I don't know where exactly the entrance is, somewhere around there. But anyway, like I say, we're not covering Finsbury Park in this film. What we're actually going to do is head down the beautiful Seven Sisters Road down towards Holloway.
Is it raining? Is a spectre still in my mind when I held a heavy load?
Hello again. You're still at it there. Are you the owner?
I'm the manager.
Manager. How long have you been here?
28 years.
28 years. What makes your bagels better than everybody else's?
It's traditional way.
Traditional.
Leave them to rise by itself and boil them on the water, you know.
Can I have one salmon cream cheese bagel, please? No, that's all, thanks.
Salt beef, salmon and cream cheese, smoked salmon.
Anything you desire. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
What time do you open?
5 a.m.
5 a.m?
Yes.
There's not many of these bakeries where they actually bake on the premises left in North London, so it's quite nice to see them actually doing it here. Very generous portions as well. The cakes, the croissants, everything's very big as well. So that's a proper doorstep there, look.
Doorsteps. Superb.
Thank you so much. See you later.
I took amphetamine to try and stop it in, but it's raining on Holloway.
Yeah, so there's loads of the pubs around here. I mean, if you go up all the way up Blackstock Road, all the pubs are Arsenal themed. I mean, look at that one over there, 12 pins, for example. It's got the gun up on top of it, the emblem of Arsenal Football Club and stuff. But we're not going to go to all the pubs up Blackstock Road. It's just too much to cover, and we'll do that another day. But, you know, if you are going to Arsenal, up here, just next to the bridge, Gillespie Park Nature Reserve, if you want, you can take a little kind of shortcut through here and it takes you out towards Arsenal Stadium. But we thought we'd take the much more scenic, beautiful route along this incredibly busy high street. This weather, honestly, it just never stays the same for 2 seconds. Just opposite here, this, which is now the Premier Inn, this used to be the George Robey, a really famous like gig venue and pub. Blur talk about playing in there in the old days. Yeah, Billy Bragg played there, Hawkwinds, They Might Be Giants.
It's the first time that I ever saw the band Soul Asylum play.
Right.
They did a famous song, Runaway Train.
Runaway train never come back. Yeah, yes. Oh, the voice you can hear, by the way, is Little Lost Lou, whose song you can hear in this video, by the way, in case you're wondering. Sadly, they closed down in 2004, and now they just built that, even though it was a listed building. But just opposite there is another incredibly iconic gig venue from, well, the 1970s and 80s. It's now this sort of church, but originally this was the Finsbury Park Astoria. It was a cinema built in the 1930s. Later on, it became the famous Rainbow Theatre and sort of venue for gigs. I mean, this is where Jimi Hendrix first burnt his guitar on stage. He famously burnt his hands and ended up having to go to hospital. But you know, it was in 1972 in here was when Deep Purple played a gig. The Guinness Book of Records recorded them as being the loudest band in the world as a result of playing in here. I have got an album called Focus Live at the Rainbow. Do you know the band Focus? They've got a song called Hocus Pocus by Focus.
Mind you don't shatter the windows, Julia.
I bumped into him. He came up to me when I was selling kites. And he went, I'm from Holland, just over here doing a gig. I said, oh, what's the name of your band? He said, oh, we're an old band called Focus. And I said, really? I said, is your name Finsbury Lear? And he went, yes, it is. It was so weird. So one of my heroes has bought a kite off me. From me. Off or from, I don't know. Anyway, let's go.
There's a rainbow in the sky where all our idols die, but there's always hocus pocus on the way. Some magic and
Look, Paul's Park, just a little bit. We're just coming down Seven Sisters Road here, and just opposite, just down that road over there is the 6 Acres Estate, and this is one of the most important locations in punk music history because this is where John Lydon lived, you know, from the Sex Pistols.
Johnny Rotten.
Johnny Rotten, all right, Johnny Rotten. I want to see some history, because now I got a reason for an economy. I used to scream in a punk band, not quite as well as Johnny Rotten. This, ladies and gentlemen, is where some of the most iconic, important songs of British musical history were penned. There's a good documentary about it on YouTube where Johnny Rotten, it comes around and he points out all the places, and I think it looked like it was just number 1 there, Carville Street. And it was the kitchen up there is where he wrote God Save the Queen, God Save the Queen, the fascist regime. That was written in there, and they also had their pet hamster there, which was called Sid Vicious. That's the name of his hamster. That's why he named Sid after Sid Vicious. Bodies! I used to love the Sex Pistols. I still do, really. He was definitely brought up in this area, as was Bob Hoskins, and Shirley Bassey also lived in this street, by the way.
Really?
the devil's got the best of me. I didn't mean to kill that girl that way. Is it raining? Is the spectre still?
This is Seven Sisters Road, and this part doesn't look particularly picturesque. All along this street, you've got these lovely old shops like Bangs, which was built in 1907, that you can see from the sign there. Don't know what it sold, but there's loads of them. There's another one over there. Actually, this one coming up, I think it's from the 1930s.
Yeah.
It's around the 1930s-ish. A lot of drapery stores around. I saw these big department stores, and they would have been gentleman outfitters as well,
Yeah.
I suppose.
This is huge, isn't it? I didn't
It's
even realise
massive,
that
yeah.
It goes all the way down.
I expect it's luxury flats now.
It's a block.
So, just over there on the corner, we're on the corner of Hornsey Road and Seven Sisters Road. That lovely pub, which I shall cut to on a sunny day, is where the old manor house used to be. Back in the time of William the Conqueror, he gave the whole manor of Tollentone, it was called, Tollentone stretched all the way from Crouch Hill to like where Hoxton is now. And he gave that to Ranulph, brother of Alga.
Is that why it's called Tollington Road, after the manor of the
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was why it's called Tollington Road right here. A couple of hundred years later, the whole manor got sold to the Knights of St. John, and they built a new manor house up in Highbury, Highbury Manor, which we will get to later. But anyway, it's pouring with rain. Let's get out of here. We've just turned down Hornsey Road here briefly. There's all these like 19th century, that looks like a school. This is obviously a school because you've got the boys sign here. And then look, the wash house and public bars. It's fantastic. I love this sort of thing, you know.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? It's the sort of thing you want to learn in a book or something, isn't it, while you're...
Oh, what, you mean the Joolz Guide's Rather Splendid London Walks book? Available soon, and in fact available now to pre-order. Check the links below.
That's exactly what I do.
That is a meaty tome as well, by the way. This took me ages to write, and so yeah, coming out soon. But yeah, you can pre-order it. Check the links below. 20 sizzling walks full of jolly japes, banter, hilarious anecdotes, and a bit of the Sweeney and plenty of Columbo thrown in for good measure. I'm always going on about it, but look, the old Seven Sisters Road sign. Seven Sisters Road End there, possibly 100 years old. And look, not only Shirley Bassey and Johnny Rotten lived around here, this is where Edward Lear was from. Edward Lear, who famously wrote all the nonsense poetry. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea green boat. They took some money and plenty of honey wrapped up in a £5 note. The owl looked up to the stars above and sang to a small guitar, "Oh pussy, oh pussy, oh pussy, my love. What a beautiful pussy you are, you are, you are. What a beautiful pussy you are." He was the penultimate of 21 children. I mean, his parents must have been busy. But he was actually a great artist. He was very famous for drawing birds. But yeah, we tend to remember him as the one who popularised nonsense verse, like the Pobble Who Had No Toes, and They Went to See in a Sieve. And, you know. The most important thing about here is the snooker club opposite, isn't it, Simon? There we go, we're in, we're in. I love coming in here so much. This is so great. Look at all the people on the walls here. It feels and smells like a proper snooker hall.
The club, sir, has been here since the last 52 years. We've been here as a family-run business since the last 12 years. So this is the oldest club in Islington. We are open 12 early afternoon until I should say 3 a.m.
Wow, yeah.
The day after. We have here 5 steel block cushion Riley's tables. We have a star table in the VIP room at the back, 6 upstairs. So total we have 11 snooker tables. People who's on that list, they've done those breaks in this building. Peter Ebdon is the most popular one out of them.
He's done a 147?
Yes, Hurricane Higgins, Alex Higgins.
Oh, brilliant.
Stephen Henry, he played in this building.
140.
Settle down, please. Oh, good luck, mate. Oh, that's just wonderful. A maximum break here at Cousins.
Julian, there's an excellent market there. Go in there.
What, the Nag's Head Market? I've never been in. Is it good?
Yeah, no, it's really good. Some nice foods and stuff like that in there.
Are you hungry? Do you want some food?
I might get some food, like a tagine. Let's have a
Spanish
look.
food. I'll get some Spanish food.
You want some Spanish food? Espanol. Ah, lovely. Looks nice.
Any time. I've never been in here, but Louisa may be coming in.
Yeah,
You come in here a lot. Which part of Spain?
Madrid.
Madrid. Thank you. Now this delightful road here is Holloway Road, which, you know, I confess it's not one of my favourite roads. So Holloway comes from Holloway, as in the sunken highway. Back in like the 16th century, it was sort of, I suppose, slightly in a valley or something, a bit sunken down. All along here, the Odeon over there from 1938, the Holloway Odeon, it's a lovely old building. And look at that one over there. I mean, you just see the detail. When you look at street level, it's not very nice, to be honest, but when you look up, it is amazing. And it was quite popular in the 19th century. It kind of rivaled Brixton and places like Peckham for these kind of high street department stores that they had. They had quite a few. So coming up is Selby's. That's still in operation. That was from 1896.
I love these big old department stores. I go in these a lot. There's one in Brixton as well, isn't there? There's not that many left of these old style, old school department stores. Morley's is the one in Brixton, yeah.
Morley's.
They're all closing down, so this is quite a rarity.
And you keep looking up, you can see the old King's Head pub next to it, you know. Now Taco Bell. It's all such a pity, really. And that one on the corner where Argos is, that was Beale's. That opened in 1769 and became a big department store, but actually they ended up being the largest bakers in the whole of North London. They had 5 stories, a grill, a restaurant. They now actually do have a chain of hotels or something, Beale's. But yeah, the shop that was there closed down after 200 years. Not mad, thanks. Caught me in the middle of my lunch.
Oh, okay then. Okay, good. I always watch your programme.
Oh, do you? Thanks.
Yeah,
That's very kind.
Oh, you're welcome. It's really great.
Oh, good. On the other side of the road from there is Jones Brothers from 1867. In 1910, this was instrumental in convicting Dr. Crippen. They couldn't convict him And then they discovered he had bought some pyjamas, and in the pyjamas there was a label saying that he had bought them from Jones Brothers.
The smoking gun.
Yeah, somehow he was convicted by a pair of pyjamas from here. Look, you can still see the Jones Brothers sign, which is still there from when this was Jones Brothers. Right next door to Jones Brothers is the Coronet. Now, this started as the Savoy Cinema in 1940, then became the ABC. Then it closed down. I think the last film they showed in there was Blade Runner as a cinema. Then it turned into a snooker hall, only for a couple of years though, and then it went into complete dilapidation, but it was rescued by Weatherspoons. So now it's this massive Weatherspoon pub.
Yeah, I like this one. Lots of old men drinking here, that's why I like it.
Tell me again, what was this? What it used to be?
It's a theatre.
Right.
It's a cinema.
Cinema, it was. Because I did caught him in here like years ago, right? You know.
Really? Did you have any luck?
Maybe.
Then it went into a snooker hall.
Yeah. Yes.
That's closing up soon.
Yeah, what are they going to do with it then? That's a pity.
No, they reckon they
Put it down, like, wouldn't
they
they?
might pull it down.
It's so beautiful in here though, isn't it? Such a pity.
Well, we call it God's waiting room, I do. But it's like that at the moment.
I shouldn't laugh.
No. I laugh. If you can't laugh, you can't cry.
Cheers, man. It's such a pity. I can't believe they're closing that. God's waiting room.
Very hard, waiting in the dark and the cold.
Just a bit further down here, this is where Joe Meek, who was one of the most significant music producers of his time, he recorded here. And he was the one who pioneered using the recording studio as an instrument, like overdubbing or electronic sounds, you know, a bit like how Kraftwerk and Depeche Mode did later on. The biggest hit that he had was the Tornadoes, Telstar. It was the first British record to get an American #1. So he was quite a pioneer. He did tell Brian Epstein to forget about the Beatles. He said, no, don't worry about them. And also there was another band that came along and he said, listen, I'll sign them as long as you get rid of that rubbish singer Rod Stewart that you've got. You know, he wasn't always absolutely right, but then later on he developed some serious paranoia. He thought that they were bugging his flat. He was completely paranoid that because he was gay, he used to walk around in sunglasses because he was worried that the Krays would spot him and, I don't know, beat him up because he was homosexual or something. And then he also developed this obsession with trying to record the voices of dead people. So he hung around in graveyards trying to record the dead. But then eventually he got so paranoid that he shot his landlady and then he shot himself. But this is where he did many of his recordings and his sampling and stuff.
So he shot himself here?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
A single barrel shotgun and my head's in a spin. It's raining on Holloway Road.
There are opportunities to score many points along this walk, I might add. I mean, look, here's another. Just because this is a big, ugly road, it doesn't mean you don't get these old coal hole covers. Look at that. So, you know, they needed coal too along here. I don't know when it was from, this one doesn't say, but sometimes they've got the old-fashioned postcodes on it, so it's a sort of clue. And it's usually sort of sometime in the 19th century.
Well spotted.
Just want to point out Holloway Road Station over there. GNP and BRY. That is, that's Great Northern Piccadilly and Brompton Railway. So it went from Hammersmith up to Finsbury Park. And actually in 1906, the inside, they sunk two lift shafts, but one of them had the lift, and then the other one, the intention was to have this, it was the world's first circular escalator. It was invented by Jesse Renault, who invented the first inclined elevator, a bit like those funicular railways, you know. Anyway, it's like a spiral escalator that went all the way down, but it just kept failing, and he couldn't get it right, so they've just got lifts now, so. Good idea, nice idea if it could work, but obviously I still haven't seen a circular escalator, so presumably it was a dud. Just along here on Holloway Road, cuts to a sunny day image of this building. This is part of the London Metropolitan University. This building here was done by Daniel Libeskind, and he also did the Jewish Museum in Berlin. But locals around here just think that this looks like a sunken battleship, they say.
Do you think it will be turned into luxury flats one day?
Well, probably one day, but at the moment it's part of the university.
Faszinierend Gebäude.
Ja, stimmt. In England, lernen sie es fast mal. Oh, look, you see, look, another stink pipe. I don't even think I should award points for them anymore. There's so many of them knocking around. Now when I see them, I seem to see loads of them everywhere. Anyway, I quite like the juxtaposition of the old Victorian stink pipe with this brand new fascinating Gebäude, amazing building. Look at these nice, I mean, all the way along here are these lovely old buildings, and actually we're not going up there, but on the corner of Liverpool Road there, up there on the right, is where there used to be a gibbet. There was a gibbet sort of, you know, where you hung the remains of someone who'd been executed or hanged or something. I don't know if they did the hangings there as well, but anyway, we're going down this way.
Some magic and some misery. The devil's got the best of me. I didn't mean to kill that girl that way. Is it raining?
Well, this is supposed to be Tony Adams.
Looks nothing like him. I didn't even recognise him.
Yeah, I know they're not that, I don't think that they are that good, these statues, but it's better than the one that of Michael Jackson that was outside Fulham. but yeah, well, I think they should have a Katya Jones next to him, like his Strictly Come Dancing partner.
Maybe if you go on Strictly Come Dancing, he'll be your Strictly partner.
Come dancing. This is the Emirates Stadium, which is where Arsenal play their home games now, but they only moved here in 2006. Unfortunately, we've arrived at a time when they seem to be doing some renovations. I wanted to go and stand next to the Thierry Henry statue, but they've only got Dennis Bergkamp and Tony Adams. I mean, still Arsenal greats. The Romford Pelé, they got... That's quite a neck. Remarkable. Fans of Arsenal Football Club who have had a memorial here placed after them.
We can never lose. We wash away the blues. A season without rain in our hearts. We were the invincibles, but life's a mystery. A short film.
Remember when we were right at the beginning, when we came out near Finsbury Park station, I said you could take a little shortcut up those stairs. So all the way along the railway track, then you emerge down here. It's quite nice along there. You can see hedgehogs, birds and squirrels. And stuff. It's completely contrast. This side of the road, all these rather beautiful, cute houses. And on the other side, you've got this whacking great stadium. But all these guys who live along here, I mean, I've seen quite a lot of them on match days. They just start selling things out their front garden.
Oh,
football,
okay.
yeah, merchandise. Come and get your football shirts here. 2 for £1 here. Come on. 2 for £5 here. Now let's clean them up now. That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? See, it's your own little kind of stage to sell stuff. That's a prime sales point there. I wonder how much the houses cost. There must be a fortune, I should think. This one originally used to be called Gillespie Road, but in 1925, Herbert Chapman, who was a manager of Arsenal, they won the league or something, and he managed to get them to change the name of the station from Gillespie Road to Arsenal Station. Anyway, actually, if you go down onto the station platform, you can still see it still says Gillespie Road. It's a weird station there. They don't have any escalators or anything. It's just a really long slope. It goes all the way down to the station. Ah, the original Highbury Stadium. Look at it, lovely Art Deco listed building, I guess. In 1886, the munitions workers down in Woolwich, Arsenal, started up a football club, and the owner, Henry Norris, much later on around 1910, he wanted to merge them, to expand or something, merge them with Fulham Football Club and play down at Craven Cottage, but there was much opposition to this. They didn't really want to do that, so they ended up buying some grounds, some fields here off the Archbishop of Canterbury, I think, who owned all these fields, and then built the original Arsenal Stadium. But now they have turned it into a luxury flats. That was the North Bank, famous North Bank stand. This end was the clock end. But why didn't they just leave it as a football pitch? It would have been so convenient for all the people who lived here. Yeah. You could go and score a goal at exactly the same location where Tony Adams scored his famous goal. Steve Bold puts him through to win the double. 1998, I think it was against Everton. Actually, up there, That is where I did my famous egg.com ad. Do you remember the egg.com ad where I had a sock on my hand shouting in my ear?
Have you seen the Arsenal Stadium mystery?
Oh, the black and white film, yes. It was all set on location in the old Highbury Stadium here. There's actually some nice footage of the team playing. Up the arse, here we come, we've come up the arse. That's what they call it, going up the arse. You know, I didn't make that up. Have you heard people say that? We're just going up the arse.
Have you ever been up the arse?
Please. People watching now will have memories, many memories of coming here and being virtually, I don't know, in what is now someone's front room, you know, to watch, you know, famous goal. Well, Tony Adams, I mean, he wasn't really known as a striker, not as good as Twinkle Toes Joolz, obviously, in my heyday, but that's what I was known as. But he does have one thing over me, is that he has made it onto Strictly. Please remember to hit the subscribe button so that I too can get onto Strictly, mostly just so that I can meet Catcher Jones.
Is it raining? Is the spectre still in my mind when I held a heavy load?
What a waste of water.
Yeah.
Right next to here is, now this is sort of roughly the area where, I mean, it's been flattened now. I think it was number 85. The former home of Dr. A.P. Hazel. This was the mailing address for the Russian Social Democratic Foundation. They were like the precursor to the Bolsheviks. You know, so you know, if you watch my Lenin video about London, they needed these mailing addresses to stop the police from intercepting their mail, I suppose. I dare say Lenin must have popped in to pick up his mail occasionally. I mean, no, he was here, really. Look at that. Simon loves a vintage litter bin, doesn't he?
Did it?
Oh, look how happy he is.
Wow. A bit beaten up, but yeah.
You know, it's funny, these roads around here, look, we've just come up past Avenel Road, but look, erected 1884, so these houses are all from around then, but a lot of the houses along here all seem to have names. It's very strange. I don't know why they've got names. Maybe a postman would know. Yeah, look, Gladstone House. They've all got a name outside. I've been asking everybody. No.
This is the first time I've actually noticed it.
Even a lady who lived here, I asked. It was the first time she noticed it. I don't know, look, Gladstone House there. Then that next one is, what's that, Brunswick House.
I'm surprised I don't have that.
All houses around here have names on them. And I don't know why. I'm going to ask my subscribers. Maybe they'll know why. Yeah. You remember I was saying about how the whole manor was gifted by William the Conqueror? But then later it came into the hands of the Knights of St. John, or the Knights Hospitaller, I think they're called. And just further along here, if you turn right, you get to Lear Road, and that's the location where the new Highbury Manor was built. It's around the corner there. So they've built some flats there, Eton Flats or Eton Estate or something. But Highbury, like Bury, means fortified place in Anglo-Saxon. So Highbury meant that this was the new lord of the manor could sit in his manor house and high up on the hill and overlook, he could see down as far as the other manor houses of like Holloway, Barnsbury and Canonbury, the other manors in the area. Now in 1381, the Lord Prior, which is some sort of really high up position in the Knights St. John, he was hiding out in the Tower of London because there was this peasants' revolt. You know, the famous peasants' revolt of 1381, with led by Wat Tyler and Jack Straw, his mate, and they got together 20,000 people who were so offended by the wealth and haughtiness of the Knights Hospitallers, they destroyed the manor house. The Lord Prior, his name was John Scales, he was hiding in the Tower of London, but they dragged him out of there and they chopped his head off and burnt his house to the ground, his manor house to the ground. The only part that didn't get destroyed was the barn and the grange, and that's why this area is called Highbury Barn. Look, this pub over here, and there's a plaque on the wall over there. Look, let's go and have a look. It's really nice around this area. Look, yeah, so look, the Peasants' Revolt, 1381, Highbury Manor was burnt and destroyed near this site. That was around the corner there in Lear Road. But by 1700, there was a little cafe here and stuff, and then by the 1780s, William Willoughby, some bloke, he acquired the area, and he decided to expand it a bit, and he ended up turning into a really nice pleasure garden. It still looks rather pleasurable in this garden, actually. I think a pint in that pub would be very pleasurable. Entertained people with balloon ascents, they had Siamese twins, archery, tightrope walkers, all sorts of things. And it stayed that way until about 1869, when some medical students from St Bartholomew, St Bart's, they became a bit too rowdy here. And then, yeah, they withdrew their licence. Those rowdy medical students, honestly. Have you read Vanity Fair?
What, the magazine?
No, by Thackeray, Vanity Fair, the book. No, I haven't either, actually, but I did read that this does feature in Vanity Fair. The Sedleys are said to be coming to dine here with alderman balls, whatever that means. Alderman balls, that's a hell of a name. Yeah, look, Simon, I know you were pointing out vintage litter bins the other day.
Not bad.
Well, it's got an Islington emblem on it. I don't know, it looks kind of old.
It's sort of mid-90s to me. But,
oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I take that back. We've now reached Highbury Fields. I mean, back in the mid-1700s, there were only about 3 terraces of houses around the whole of Highbury and a few little other houses dotted around. But then, I suppose after the arrival of the railways, as is always the way, then all these other ones started to spring up. This number 2 here on the right.
Yeah.
This is the one at the end of 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Oh, right.
You know, where they're all sitting there. He's just been punched in the face by Duckface in the church, and Andy McDowell comes and she rings on the doorbell, and he comes running out here into the rain, and he says, I realised I completely and utterly loved one person, and it wasn't the person standing in front of me in the church. It's the person standing in front of me now, in the rain.
Is it raining? I hadn't noticed.
But look, they've got a fire insurance plaque up there, so you've got opportunity to score points along here, because look, they've all got these beautiful coal hole covers along here. Western Ironworks, Notting Hill. I wonder why they had theirs made in Notting Hill, whereas the person over here had theirs made in Essex Road, which is only around the corner. That makes much more sense. But then they've also got these lantern holders, you see, above the entrance. Those are quite nice. Always when I'm doing a Hugh Grant, I always sort of seem to slip into Prince Charles for some reason. I completely and utterly loved one person, not the person in the church. Now, some of the houses along here are amongst the earliest of the area. I mean, look at here, look, Highbury Terrace here. Look, 1789. What happened in 1789, Simon? Mutiny on the Bounty.
Mutiny on the Bounty.
You helped make my film, Take Me to Pitcairn. So this was built the same year as the Mutiny on the Bounty, and it must have been one of the earliest terraces around here. Look how beautiful it is, though.
It is, actually, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, we're
Very,
filming
very
at the moment, we're actually filming before Christmas, so that's why you see lots of Christmas decorations and stuff, and I can really imagine Scrooge living in a house a bit like one of these. Don't you think? This is very Dickensian, isn't it? This is the reason why a lot of TV dramas are filmed around here.
Yeah. Beautiful windows, arched windows.
How boring, another stink pipe. Okay, not interested. It's becoming boring. There's too many of them, you see? First of all, I thought it was amazing, and now they're just everywhere. But anyway, let's look. Quite amazing to think that right here is where the old Victorian train station used to be. It's incredible to see how different it is. I mean, the only bit that survives now is, look, this tiny little column here is the only little bit that survives from this old massive station that was all occupied over here.
I bet it was grand.
Oh, it was magnificent, and you know, a combination of bombs in the war, and then later in the 1960s they built the when they did the Victoria line. They all got demolished, but look, there's still part of the old entrance over there to the other station. There was a couple of stations here, like different types of, a couple of different railways that met here, I think. But have you ever been to their Ristorante Trevi?
I have, yes.
Oh, that is superb. The lovely old-fashioned, kind of really good value food. Quite simple, quite, you know, no nonsense. But I love the old original fittings. It feels like, what would you say, 1960s, 1950s? Something like that. It's all remained the same, all set within the old billiard hall, which is now the garage, which is a kind of like a nightclub. But what of it? I've got to tell you the most important thing you've ever heard. I've got to tell you now, and I've got to tell you in that pub down the road. Rather nice. So we're on our way to try and find a pub which is actually open. Almost all the pubs seem to have been closed down. It's I don't understand it. I wanted to go to Head and Chickens, but it's closed for some reason. The Lamb is closed. But it did give us an opportunity to walk past the beautiful library from 1906, which amazingly is still functioning as a library. I mean, I love that building. It's a lovely building. But maybe we can find a pub.
If not, it's got to be some tinnies and drinking in the park over here. We kind of did that before, didn't we? With a little bottle of whiskey.
During the lockdown.
That's right, yeah.
Bottle of whiskey on a
You
park
enjoyed
bench.
that bottle, didn't you?
I did.
Really sent you away.
Is it raining on Holloway Road?
Cheers, Simon. Cheers, everybody. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the videos. And you can go over to my website, joolzguides.com, if you want to know more about me, where you can see more videos and indeed purchase my book. Actually, it's available for pre-order at the moment, officially coming out soon. I don't know if I mentioned it. Did I mention it? Anyway, very good. 20 chapters, 20 different walks, all the sort of stuff that we've been talking about today. Follow the links below, all that sort of stuff. And don't forget to come to the Islington Blend Bar. It's not a pub. All the pubs seem to be closed around the area. So anyway, they were very kind to us in here. They've got live music and stuff. So don't forget to pop in. See you next time. Cheers.
On Holloway